Hello y'all, I'm Tina and welcome to my book and craft corner. So today this is going to be a reading vlog, a spoiler filled reading vlog for my 50th Nora Roberts book ever. And yeah, that's what it's going to be. I'm super excited about this. I'm super excited that I got to 50. So two things I want to say first. Or I guess 2 things I want to say first. Yes. First thing is it is April 21st, which is about a month after I started this vlog, and it totally finished. I read it in only a couple days, I think, or maybe I think 2 or 3 days. I think I could be wrong about that. But I just didn't get around to filming the intro and the wrap up, like finishing clip. So I'm doing it now. And the second thing is I dyed my hair red. 2 days ago. 2 days ago, not yesterday, the day before that. Not intentional. Went to Walgreens. The hair dye was $6. I bought it. It's decently patchy, to be honest, because I didn't feel like calling my mom to come upstairs and be like, can you check my hair? I'm like, I can do it by myself. I can dye my hair by myself. I'm not missing any spots. I'm missing some spots. I don't really care, to be honest. I'm just saying, the intro and the outro clip are gonna have me with red hair, because I'm filming them all at the same time. You'll see me once this vlog is done to wrap everything up. Yeah. Okay, so this vlog is going to be me reading my 50th Nora Roberts book ever, which is going to be Night Shift. This is 2 books in 1. It is part of the Night Tales? Oh gosh, I think it's part of the Night Tales series. I could be wrong about that. This is just a bind up of 2 books in 1. Secrets by Nightfall. Let's talk about kind of my history with Nora Roberts for a couple minutes. I started reading Nora Roberts when was it? It was the beginning of 2022. I started reading Nora then, and I started off with category romance. And I've been loving her ever since. Some of her books are bad. Some of the books I don't enjoy. Some of her books are like okay to decent, and some of her books are literal all-time favorites. I think about them every single day. They're perfection. So like, I just love her so much, and she's so prolific. She recently posted a YouTube short. No, she recently posted a Instagram reel. Whatever, same thing. Whatever. An Instagram reel that was celebrating her 250th book, which was the book she published in January. With smoky outside. Also, I'm outside, so like you're gonna hear the nature noises, as I always say in the clips. I'm outside. She started publishing in 1981, and she's been publishing ever since. I don't think she's ever missed a year of publishing. And yes, so she is going to be publishing 3 more books this year. And so, I'm 250 is going to be changing literally in May. And it'll be 251, obviously. That's how numbers work. Yes. And so I'm excited to be in my 50th book. Oh, dropped it. Like, I really can't believe I've already gotten to 50. My goal this year is to read 1 of her books a week, and I'm currently caught up. I'm currently like really caught up. Like today, I've been caught up most of this week. Like I got caught up like 2 weeks ago, and I'm so proud of myself. So, yeah, but that was about a month ago. So I've read a decent amount of her books since then, since I finished this one. I think I've read 6 since then, maybe. I think I've read 6 since then, but I could be wrong, since I finished this book. So this book, I just kind of found at Food City, because her books are at grocery stores. And me and my parents were going shopping, and I was like, I'll look in the book sections of the stores just to see if I can find a physical copy of a book that would kind of look interesting to do as my 50th. And I figured I might as well do a category romance so that I can kind of talk spoilers about it, and I don't know how many people really are caring about being spoiled for something like this. So I figured I would do that. And I just kind of found this at Food City. And then it was on Scribd. And then I got it on Scribd. And then Scribd took it away. And then I got it on Audible. And then once I finished reading in Audible, Scribd gave it back to me before I paid for the next month. So they limited me in 1 month. And then in that exact same month, gave me like lifted the limits, which I've never had happen before, but scribd, ever end. It's the worst, but they've had my mom's money for, 5 years now, every single month. So, whatever. Okay, so let's look at the synopsis of this book, because I thought this book was something completely different than it was. I thought that the hero was a vigilante, and so I was really confused when she has a romance with a cop. And that's kind of the story there. So, yeah. The heroine is a radio show host, a music radio show host, and one night she starts getting these very, very disturbing, violent, graphic, threatening calls. And one of the police officers that is kind of investigating this, is they have a romance together. And it's really interesting. It's very 90s. It's very fun. It was written in 90. And, yeah. So, that is the plan for this vlog. You'll see, I've already done it. Basically, the whole thing is edited. But I'm going to go ahead and film the wrap-up clip now. So, yes. Yeah, that's it, really. Okay, I'll talk to y'all. Hopefully y'all enjoy the vlog. I'll see you in the wrap-up part. Filming this a couple of days after I filmed the intro and wrap-up clips, and I just finished editing, so I got everything, ready to go, timing-wise. And there is going to be a non-spoilery review section at the end of the vlog. I had to, calculate everything before I was able to export it so I could put this clip in, and that'll be at 3 minutes and 17 seconds left of the vlog. I put a little, clip, I don't know, like a banner, kind of, a thingy, an image to say, the spoiler-free section is going to begin. So if you want to hear a review of the book, or if I would recommend it to Nora Roberts beginners, I would jump to that part. And if you're interested and you don't want to get spoiled, not watch the rest of the vlog. I don't know how you do, the section thing, so if I can figure that out, I'll do that. But probably just that one specific banner. Okay. So it's 5:20 on the 23rd, 5:20 p.m. And yes, I think I'm about to start this now. Let's just get into it, shall we? I think I'm ready to start it because I just finished another book I was reading, and I'm I don't really want to read the other 2 books I'm reading at this current second. And there's some reading sprints going on, and I'm trying to read a lot this weekend. So I think I'm gonna get started on night shift. Okay, I'm ready. Let's do this. Okay, so it is the next day, and I want to do a little update. So last night I tried to do an update, but it was 11 minutes long and kind of a mess. Yes, but I have some water boiling, so I have to be quick. Here we see this guy in chapter 2. I don't know if this is mentioned in the synopsis or not, but we see him in chapter 2, and we see the perspective of what we think is the guy who's calling her. And his name is John, and he's doing some sort of ritual, right? So I think it's either at the end of chapter 2 or at the end of chapter 1 or in the beginning of chapter 2. And he's doing this ritual of sorts, seems like witchcrafty, voodoo-y kind of. Doing that, and then we, go back to her perspective, and the cops are now staying with her while she works to see when he calls, and then she's supposed to stay on the line with the guy so they could try to track it and get more information out of him. And yes, so he ends up calling her at her house while she's by herself, completely alone. The cops aren't there or outside her house, and her sister isn't even home, and calls her house. And she obviously calls the cops immediately and is like, he called me at my house. And then basically, I don't think they really got anything from that. It was kind of a night of oh my gosh, this is terrifying. But we didn't really get a ton of information. We didn't get any information about him. I don't even think we didn't even see the call happen. And then a couple days later, or the next day or whatever, at the radio show, he calls again, and the cops are ask him questions. You need to ask him questions to see what's going on. And she asks him why he's doing this, and he says, you know. And she's like, I don't know. I don't remember the exact wording here, but he says, in some way, he says, you seduced him, and then you killed him, and I'm gonna kill you for that. And she's like, I haven't seduced anyone in my whole entire life. What are you talking about? And so the guy ends up hanging up 10 seconds before they can track the call. And yeah, and so she's like, what? Like, I didn't do this. Like, they have the wrong person. And she, right now in the book, she's determined to tell him this. Now, I'm at the start of chapter 4. I'm on page 66. Sorry, I'm holding y'all, so I can't really show y'all what I'm at. Page 66 right now. And chapter 4 is about to begin. I'm probably going to read some. If I didn't say already, it's like 12 o'clock. Yes, on Sunday. Anyways, so, yeah. I don't know, so it's getting kind of crazy. But then at the end of that chapter, the cop who is her love interest is like, you can seduce me, and then if you, because she talked about how, so we find out that she was married. That's what we find out. We find out she's married, and it was a really bad marriage, and she didn't really have a ton of sexual attraction to her husband. And he's like, well, you can seduce me, and then you can figure out if this is like a him problem or if it's like a you problem. Like, we can figure this out. And that's where I left off last night, because I was like, it's getting late, I'm gonna get scared, so we're gonna put the book down because it's gonna be a little spooky. Yes, anything else I want to talk about? It's very 90s. It was written in the 90s. It was published in the 90s. Nope, it was published in 1990. It's very 90s. The main character definitely does smoke at work while she's sitting like in her radio show, while the songs are playing. She smokes in the building, which is just crazy. And in all of Nora Roberts' category romances, the heroine or the hero or one of the characters is smoking. The hero has recently quit smoking in this book. But it's fun so far. I am enjoying it. I would say it's not like her best category I've read, at least so far. I'm only, 70 pages in, but I don't know. I would say that it's probably not the greatest as a first Nora Roberts to read. Yeah, that's what I would say. Or if you're really on the mysteries, maybe if you wanted to try this. If you love her mysteries, you don't like her other books, maybe try this then, because it's definitely more, it feels very mystery heavy and less romance heavy. I think maybe 50-50, but typically our categories are romance heavy and have very little plot, or external plot, I guess. Yeah, okay. So I need to go check on my boiling water, and that's about it, what I have to say here. Okay, I'll talk to y'all when I have another update. So it's 1:17, same day, and I've read some more. I'm on page 93. Yeah, 93. So after chapter 4 ended, they kissed. Okay, they kissed. And so they kissed. They had their first kiss. I don't know if that happened before that. I think that was the first time they kissed. And then they're talking. They're probably arguing. I don't totally remember exactly what happened, but they're probably arguing because all they do is argue. And she sees a man standing outside of her house, just looking in the window, or across the street. It's very much I was imagining that scene in You where Joe is standing across the street looking into Beck's window. Yeah, it's very creepy. And he chases the guy down and the guy leaves. And then we get the perspective from the crazy guy again. And that was him. That was him standing outside the window, and I think it was him. And we see him go home, and the way he's talking about his space and his life very feels like he's written to have a mental illness. So I hope that is written well. I don't know if it will be or not. But it seems like he's written to have OCD, which I hope she handles well. I don't know how I don't know how this is gonna go. We'll see. Yes, and it also seems, and so that guy, we learned that that guy is not John. We don't know his name, though. We don't know his name. We don't know this guy's name. But he is not John. John is the man that she killed. She didn't kill him, but still. I'm very curious. I'm very curious because we learn a little bit more about her ex-husband in the last little bit. He very much forced it out of her and her sister. And he doesn't seem, I don't think it's going to be him, but we'll see. Yes. I was going to say this in the last clip that I filmed, but it seems like she's written to be asexual, or like on the asexual spectrum. From what I can tell, I would probably say maybe like demisexual, but, Nora Roberts doesn't typically write. I don't think I've ever read or heard of a Nora Roberts book where one of the main characters was not straight. I'm assuming the main character is not going to be demisexual, but whatever. I feel like she is demisexual because of everything she's talking about. But I'm still really enjoying it. Yes. Oh, and then the other thing I wanted to mention, is she's very much written as like a 90s woman, and she even references this, like, I don't know, like there was like a wave of feminism in the 90s, right? It was like the third wave or the second wave of feminism or whatever. Maybe that's a different thing. I'm not totally sure. It feels like one of her first times writing a feminist, right? This feels like she's maybe not doing it like the greatest. I don't know. I don't know if I would say she's like, maybe just isn't writing, maybe just isn't the greatest right now in, 90, which was what, 34 years ago, right? 34 years ago at writing ultra feminist characters, because I feel like she has some, like I could definitely list a couple of her characters I would consider to be like absolute feminists. And I think she does that very well with her later books, but maybe this is one of her first times truly writing a extreme feminist character, and just didn't have like, it wasn't like, she wasn't in the groove of that yet. Yes. But I mean, it's good. I also think the main character has like trauma, like so much trauma, and like repressed feelings and emotions and desires and a lot of different things. So I feel like the main character has gone through a lot in her life and is kind of repressing it under, I can take care of myself, which like isn't healthy, obviously. So yeah. Okay. That's my update. I'll talk to y'all probably once I'm halfway or even more. I kind of had this theory about who the crazy man, we're gonna call him the crazy man, and I've already been calling him, could be, and what the motive could be, but I don't think I didn't say it in the last clip because I'm like, that's a little too wild. But if I'm right, I need to have it. Like, I need to have this on film for the video. What if it is her ex-husband, right? So
what if she was pregnant and she had a miscarriage or abortion, and he's naming this child John?
This probably won't go in the video, to be honest, because it's a little bit extreme of a theory, but we'll see as I continue to read. Yeah, I also want to update just to quickly say that they were able to trace him, but I just played it like another second more, and they were not able to get him. They were not able to catch him. I just wanted to update and say that, and then yeah, we got to trace. It was at like a public like she was like doing a radio show in like a mall, and then yeah, and then that happens. So I have no clue. I have just so many theories, and I did film a little clip with probably one of my craziest theories, but I might not put that in if it's not correct because it's wild. But another theory could be that janitor guy, which I trust him. Like, I want to trust him, but we see a scene of him, like, having a knife and her being scared of him, and then her being like, oh, him being like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to, like, scare you. I have a question real quick for something, or I was cleaning something or whatever. What if it's, like, his son? I don't know. his son's her husband. I don't know. I don't know what I'm thinking. I don't know anything. So I'm gonna keep reading. I'm in the living room. I do not plan on doing an update right now. My dog is screaming. Honey, I know there's a doggy out there, but it doesn't mean you can cry like that, honey. That just doesn't do anything. There's a doggy out there and she wants to say hi to it. Yeah. So I just want to do a quick update and say a quick thing because something so funny just happened. And I had to pick up my phone and let y'all know. He basically kidnaps her and takes her to a cabin in the middle of the woods. And she's like, where are we? And he's like, on my way to home. She wakes up and she was like, I thought you were gonna take me home. And he's like, I did take you home, but more to my home. And kidnaps her, kind of, I guess. I don't know. And it's that night. And she goes in to talk to him at the cabin because, like, I don't know. She's mad at him for taking her there. And he just starts banging his head against the wall. And she's like, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm beating my head against the wall. She's like, yeah, but like, why? Yeah, Mitzi also thinks it's funny, don't you, baby? Don't you, baby? This guy's crazy. I look a mess right now. My face feels so hot, but I'm also so cold. I think I have a cold. That might be it. I might have the chills currently. But I don't know. This is a mess. I look a mess. I'm sorry about that. But yeah. Okay. I'll talk to y'all later. And I just read, I don't know where I am. Let me see. I'm on I have less than 100 pages left for sure. I just don't know exactly where I am. Okay. So I'm on page 160. Yeah. So I finished 159. My next page to read is 160 out of 237. And yes, I'm hoping to get it done tonight before midnight, but we'll see. But it's getting better. It's getting so much better because I don't know exactly if I'm gonna include that clip or not. I'm hoping I am. That last clip was a mess, but he has basically kidnapped her and like drug her to this cabin, and things are happening. And it's actually so freaking cute and romantic, and her development as a woman who really puts on a facade of strength, a person who puts on a facade of strength and composure, who has a lot of trauma and fear of emotions because of the way people treated her and the way she wasn't loved properly by her husband. Oh my god, it's getting so good. It's getting so good. I'm just like, and the fact that he like loves her and like cares about her and like, Nora is so good at writing. Like, even if this book isn't 5 stars, which it's probably not gonna be, it's probably gonna be more like 4 stars. Nora is just so good at writing like heroes who love the heroine and are like, I love you and I'm gonna prove it to you. She's so good at writing it. There have been lines that were just amazing. I had to underline. This line right here, I underlined. He would protect her with his life. That was duty. He would cherish her for a lifetime. That was love. Anyway, yeah, so I think I'm gonna keep reading for a little bit, and I'll talk to y'all, I don't know, later. Okay, bye. Reveals. So they're arguing because he's like, marry me, I'm in love with you. And she's like, you're a cop. And he's like, I know why you don't like cops. And like, okay, that's happening. Okay, right. They're screaming at each other as they always do. They're about to start fist fighting. Okay. And he's like, she's like, you sound like that guy who proposed to me and used to like hound me all the time and bring me flowers and he bought me a ring and all that kind of stuff. And he gets like, what was his name? Like cop mode, like angry. And she's like, John something. No, McGillis. I don't know what the hell McGillis means. I don't know who the hell that is. But John, the guy that the crazy guy was... It's happening. It's happening. Okay, I have to go read. See you then. So it is 11 something. It's still the 24th. Yeah, it's 51 because when I had a minute and 1 second left of the book, when I had a minute and 9 seconds left of the book, my dad knocked on the door. Not knocked on the door. He walks into my room and he was like, we have things to talk about. So we chit-chatted for a couple minutes about nothing and then about some random stuff. And then I went ahead and finished my book. My dad didn't knock on the door because I had the door open because the ending of this book was literally terrifying and I was scared. So there's that. Okay, so I'm not going to get into a ton of it tonight because I kind of just like want to go to bed. But Billy was the killer. The guy who like surprised her one day, surprised her. I don't know how the scene actually goes, but I believe he is like the janitor or whatever there. Yes, that is the killer. That is the killer, the crazy man, whatever. And yes, he was like foster brothers with John. Yes, and it was really emotional with her trauma and all that. And they're just so funny and weird together. And then the introduction of his sister, which is, I checked, and she is a main character in, I think, book 4. Yes, so the introduction of her as well. I'll give more. I ended up giving it a 4.5 star. I think it was a really good book. Like it really just shocked me and surprised me. I'll do more of my wrap-up thoughts tomorrow. Or once, I get everything edited out and everything ready to go so I know what to chat about. My 50th Nora Roberts book is read and done. I honestly just, can't believe I've read 50 already. And I feel like this was a pretty good one to be my 50th. I honestly thought it was going to be kind of sucky, but it ended up being pretty damn good. And I feel like that's what happens with Nora Roberts' book with me. Is I'm like, this book's not going to be good. And then it's, fantastic. And I'm like, there you go. Okay. So I'm going to go to sleep. Talk to y'all later. Okay. Here we are to wrap up the vlog. Exciting, exciting, exciting. I read this book a month ago, so I'm still trying to, rack my brain. Shit. I'm still trying to rack my brain, there we go, to figure out what I thought about this book. Okay, so at the end of the book, there is the reveal of the killer, and I wasn't right about the whole, abortion thing, I was not right about the abortion thing. We're gonna ignore that. Okay, let's ignore that. I was kind of right, or there was a scene where, or maybe there was a scene in the book that happened that I didn't say anything about. I don't know. But, the guy who, the janitor who comes out of the closet, with a knife or whatever, is the killer, and was a father figure to John, who was a mentally ill, boy. Yeah, he ends up, kind of pining after her, partially, I think, from my memory, stalking her and stuff like that. And then she said no. She said no to his proposals. And, he ended up killing himself because of it. And so his brother is trying to take out revenge on the main character for, what he had done. What he had done to himself that he's blaming on her. And so, yeah, it was very crazy. I was not expecting it to be that guy. I was expecting it to be something crazy. I kind of did want it to be her ex-husband, but, whatever. I think that's all I have to say spoiler-wise. I know it was not a ton, but I think we can get into the non-spoilery wrap-up section now. Yeah, so I ended up giving it a 4.5. I think it was a really nice book. So, I thought the book was really interesting. I thought it was pretty suspense-heavy for a category romance. I think most of her suspense books are, it felt more like a suspense than a romance, to me. Maybe 75 suspense, 25% romance, and that's kind of crazy for one of her categories. I feel like when her categories have suspense, they're typically more romance than suspense. And there's not as much like plot lines in it and stuff like that that are separate from the romance. External plot lines, I guess. Yes. What else? Non-spoilery, do I have to? Yes, okay. So I think for me personally, this is really, it is a really good book. I did absolutely enjoy it. I gave it a 4.5 star. But I think for me, if I read this sooner in the beginning of my Nora Roberts journey, I wouldn't have liked it as much. And I don't think it would have called me to read, like, it made me really, really want to read more Nora Roberts books. And so I don't think I would recommend it as a first Nora Roberts book. I just don't think it kind of like would give me any points to take off from. I don't know how much I would have enjoyed it back then when I didn't like suspense and mysteries more. The Animal Kingdom, they went crazy. Yeah, so I think we're good now. So personally for me, I don't think this would have been the best one to start in the beginning of my Nora journey. But I think it would be a good place to start for people who primarily read her suspense, her really heavy suspense, or her J.D. Robb, who want to branch out into the other parts of her backlist, who are like, I don't love her like typical romances, but I love her J.D. Robb and I want to try to see what else she has. I would recommend this. I'm not saying it's exactly the same. It's not exactly the same. If you're looking for another J.D. Robb book and you've read a million of them, don't expect this one to be that. But if you're looking for something kind of similar and want to start branching out into the kind of other pathways she has in her backlist, in her very long, prolific backlist, I would suggest this one could be a good one for that. And as I'm trying to I am more in her romantic suspense kind of category right now, like romantic suspense area, subgenre, I definitely enjoyed this one. So yes, I believe that is it for this vlog. This is so exciting. I can't believe I've read 50 Nora Roberts books. I think that is it for this vlog. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it if you're a Nora reader or if you're not a Nora reader. And I hope it was cohesive and made sense and y'all enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.